Hey, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Pink, where we discuss all things women over 40. And I have a very special guest with us today, my friend, colleague, coworker, about 1,000 titles, Jen Egupov. And we are going to be talking about her career in both mindfulness and her work in recovery.
Out in the open, to the horizon, where your heart can finally breathe. Out in the open, to the horizon, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild. You gotta get out there and explore, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild.
So welcome to the show, Jen. I'm so glad that you decided to do this with
Thank
me
you.
today. We've been working together now for,
I want to say like 6 years.
God, has it really
I
been
don't know,
6
really.
years?
Time is an illusion for me. I think 6 years because I started subbing for Jan,
Okay, yeah.
and then things shifted, and I started just taking on classes and going to the recovery centers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you actually started out in mindfulness and like your own work
I
in that
was.
field.
I was. I don't really know how I got into it more for myself. After my dad passed, I was really looking for ways to kind of cope with it.
Right.
That didn't mean having to I had 4 children, and that didn't mean, having to constantly leave the house for, therapy appointments once a week. And
Yeah.
I think everybody needs a daily regimen of figuring out how to just cope
Something.
with life. And so I started taking classes. I got interested in Reiki.
Okay.
And like one thing just kind of led to another, and the right people started coming into my life.
I feel like that happens. It's
Yeah,
almost like the
and
universe is giving you signs that this is what you should be
yeah,
doing.
it was like yes, you're moving in the right direction. And just over time, I started teaching at schools. And at Smithsburg High School, they invited me to do a little after school program that kids
Oh,
signed up
cool.
for. And it was neat because my kids were going there at the time.
Oh, cool.
So their
Okay.
friends
Yeah.
were like, oh, yeah, we'll do that with your mom. And so I did that. And then I started doing it at BISFA,
Okay.
and then it's just like, then the community kind of started to notice.
Right.
Then COVID happened.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think at that point was when Jan had asked me to sub somewhere in
I
there.
feel like, yeah,
I
it
just
was,
don't
I feel
even
like it was like
know.
it was right around that time. That would have been like 6 years ago. Um, but if I remember correctly, it was because we had already had wellness within our recovery programs. And just so you guys
Yes.
know, my nonprofit was doing health and wellness programming for people that were incarcerated, people with substance use disorder. So I had kind of built this little community of wellness providers that wanted to give back to the community and work with this population. It's a very different kind of feel.
It is. And it is, I think that you have to have a passion for it. And I think that you have to have an empathetic heart
Yeah.
for it.
We'll explain why we're laughing later.
Yeah. And I mean, but I think that everybody that does it has an own element of themselves within it where it's healing for them also.
Yeah.
I can't really put the pieces together of why it's
And you're
good
talking,
for
yeah,
me.
you're talking about mindfulness.
I'm
like,
talking
yeah.
about the mindfulness, and I'm talking about how that incorporates in with the programming,
Mhm.
the recovery programming, and even with case management with
Mhm.
JRA, going
Yeah.
in and meeting with inmates. I mean, all of that kind of work plays into, there has to be an element of yourself in there, and if you don't want to be there, or if you don't feel good or passionate about it, the people
Oh, they
can feel
know.
it. They can feel
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
they see you right away. kids, when I'm doing any type of meditation in a group, whether it's elementary school kids, middle school kids, high school kids, if it's dudes in a recovery center, they can, if you are showing up inauthentically,
Oh, yeah, for
they pick
sure.
up on it.
What, like, specifically in that field with people who have experienced trauma, substance abuse, mental health issues, are there specific, like, pieces of mindfulness that work best with them? Is there anything like that you find outside of being authentic, obviously, but, like, specific types of activities that you do in that realm, in that space
I
that
think
really fit well with them?
I think that teaching an element of presence. Now, I mean, you have to shift, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I have to shift according to the energy that I'm picking up on from the group of people that I'm with, right? And each person's energy influences each other.
Yes, yes,
So, I mean,
it
you're not
does.
going to jump into a long guided meditation
Yeah,
with
okay.
elementary school kids, right? I mean,
Well,
you're going
yeah.
to do.
We're talking about, like, extremely short attention
Yeah,
spans.
so each is gonna have to be different, so you kind of have to be, that's where I'm talking about, like, the awareness of self, is you have to be aware enough of yourself to show them how to be aware and present with learning any type of method, you
Right,
know? So if
right.
I'm saying, "Okay, we're gonna take a few deep breaths," some people are not gonna resonate with that. I mean, you're gonna
Right.
have to be like, "Okay, hold your breath for 3 seconds and hold." So it depends. I think just really, like, presence, teaching that it's safe to be vulnerable.
Right,
If you're
right.
working with people that have had a lot of trauma, some people don't even feel safe enough to close their eyes
That's true.
in a group of people.
That is true, and I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people, look at it that way.
Mhm.
It seems so simple. I mean, it is simple, but it's not easy for some
No, I
people,
mean, some
like.
people don't wanna close their eyes, some people, and, like, that's where you have to be aware of, like, body language
Mm.
and things like that. I mean, if you're I'll say to people, "If you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, that's fine, but consider just for a moment, closing your eyes and taking a nice deep breath." And some people don't even know how to breathe. It's
Isn't that
true.
amazing? Like,
It's
it seems
true.
like that's good, like, the easiest thing to do,
It's
but
true.
we don't know how to breathe.
No, I mean, sometimes, especially in moments like when you're in the car or when you're in the shower, those few fleeting moments, especially as women, that you get by yourself, or even when you're in the bathroom, after brushing your teeth, you
Yeah.
know, and just like for a second, remembering how to like fully inhale and fully exhale. And
Yes.
so that's like the real basic thing with any group of people, is being aware of how to breathe.
Well, and we're gonna be talking about this, in further segments, but, awareness, I think we're kinda lacking that as humans, especially now, just being aware of our existence and, like, all
Yes.
these things, so, I mean, it's
How
really
can you be
hard.
aware of others if you're not aware of yourself, and
Yeah.
how your energy affects everyone around you,
Oh god.
you
It's like a
know?
massive ripple effect.
And it plays everywhere. It plays in each relationship that you're in. If I walk into a room and I'm grouchy or I'm in a good mood or whatever it is, it's going to affect the way that you greet me,
Oh, of course it
you
is. Of
know?
course it is. What made you decide to do this as your career? And you've done 2 things, although I do think, working in case management with people in recovery, and people that are involved with the justice system is kind of like
It
mindfulness. Like, it
overlaps. It
overlaps
overlaps.
tremendously. But what made you decide to do this and move into more of It wasn't just me saying she had to, or that
You
you're gonna be
made me
really good
do
at
you
this.
made me do it.
Like, that particular population that you wanted to work with, why did that speak to you? Oh,
It just kind of I don't know really. I mean, if I put it together, I think that it was Jan asking me to sub for a mindfulness
right.
class,
Yeah.
and I said yes, and I did it, and I was like, "This is where I'm meant to be here."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was really nervous. I was like, "What am I gonna have?" Because my only experience with people with addiction and things like that is my own personal experience, which
Right.
was 20 years ago, and, family members or friends who have struggled with it. But it was
Yeah.
so long ago also and not so fresh that I didn't know if I could show up in that capacity anymore because
Right. Right.
I'd like to think that I have healed. We're always healing, but mostly healed from that
Right. Right.
part
Right.
of my life.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I could fully show up, and it was great, and I was like, well, you can keep asking me to sub if you want to. And I just felt like I could be really authentic with people
Yeah.
when I was teaching. And
Yeah.
I was hoping that they felt that they could be authentic with me. And then I think that I asked you if I could start doing case
My
management.
perimenopausal brain does not allow me to remember certain things, but
Maybe I did,
I
maybe
think
I
you're
didn't. I
probably
don't know because
right.
I also am in that same
I think
stage.
I think I think I think you're right though. I think we were looking for it, and it was more so how you connected with that population, and some of us are just really good at this. Like really good at it. It's likely the whole open mind and accepting of people, non-judgmental. They felt comfortable talking
Yes,
to you.
I hope so.
And when we talk about recovery case management or reentry, you're dealing with a population that needs pretty much everything, even if they
You don't
don't
know.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
like
don't
even if
know.
they don't know, because a lot of times they don't know
Mhm.
what they need. And they really, really want someone to talk to. Like I've noticed like they need connection.
Well, and that's what I find. I mean, most of the time, and mindfulness plays into it, and they don't even know. Do
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But, or, because some of them you would say, well, let's talk about this mindfully. And they'll look at you and be like,
Like what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, rightfully so. They're not operating from that space
Right.
currently,
Right.
Um, I forget what I
Oh,
just say.
see, that happens.
Boom. Just
Gone, poof.
totally poof.
We were what the hell were we talking
I
about?
don't know.
We were talking about the beginning origins of moving into case management.
Yeah, I
So,
think that I might have asked, like there was word on the street or something that
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
needed
yeah,
another case
and I was like,
management.
who'd be really good at this?" Carrie's like, who'd be really good at this?" I was like, "I know. I wonder if she'll do it."
I mean, I love
And
it.
you
Like,
did,
I
you
think I'm
did.
like the only person alive that likes to go into the jail.
Yes. Who doesn't mind that giant door
I'm like,
slamming
"I'll
behind
do
you?
that. I'll do it."
Yeah, and that I will say that takes a very special human being to
Mhm. Thank
be
you.
totally okay and totally comfortable and be able to connect with them, but also case management can be really hard. I think it's one of if you're doing it well, it's really hard. It's really easy if you're just like, "Here, I'm gonna, like, give you these
Yeah.
resources," and then they're gone, and we kinda pride ourselves on taking more effort and time with each client that we're talking to versus, like
For me personally, it's always been a little bit more than that. Like, the resources part of it is easy. Like, connecting them to the
Yes.
resources that they
Yeah.
need is easy. And for me, I don't know, I mean, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. It could go either way
Yeah.
to where I'm like, "Well, I just opened that door and I need to close that door now."
Yeah.
Um, I did not go to college. I do not have a degree. I am not a psychiatrist, but I think that that sometimes works to the benefit of I'm a human being with life experiences and I see you,
Right.
and it really depends on my phase of life too. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
mom. I have 2 kids that are 20. I have, in their 20s,
Yeah.
and so they'll be like, "Can you call my mom? My mom needs," one of the guys, I'll be visiting them and they'll be like, "Can
Oh,
you
yeah,
call
yeah,
my
yeah.
mom?" And so then I end up connecting with the mom.
Right. So you and I both know that in these situations and what we're dealing with, this is a generational thing.
Mhm.
So it's not just the client that you're working with most of the time.
Correct.
Like,
Sometimes it ends up not being the client at all
yes.
and their
So
family.
there's so much a deeper level to what we kind of do versus maybe other case management positions, because we do work with the families, which can be more challenging than working with specifically with the client. And we know that all those people are affected, the whole family's affected. So
Yes.
you're dealing with not just, and sometimes it's explaining that to the client that this is all,
Yes.
so you're almost like doing peer support at the same time that you're doing case management as you're doing mindfulness, and so it's so much deeper and broader, if you will. It's kind of, think that's what I'm trying to say is
It
it's
is.
it goes
It
deeper.
is. It is. And it's, I mean, it's one of, so when I go into the jail, we have a standard list of questions that we should be
Mhm.
asking them. One thing that I always ask them, I don't even know if it's on the standard list of questions, is what is your support system like?
Yeah.
Do you have a support system? Is it a good support system? Because some people be like, well, I have a sister and I have a brother, but I'm like, oh, okay. Are they close by? Well, I don't know. I haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, so you're
some of
like,
them are like, yeah, call my brother as soon as he's going to be the one that picks me up,
yeah.
when I get out. And, but some of them are like, well, I have my brother, but my sister won't talk to me. And it's so important to know those things when you're dealing with
Yes,
somebody,
yes. So if you
you
don't take
know?
the time to really kind of understand someone, and that goes across the board with most jobs, that we're doing, if you're working with people at all, it's so
Yes.
important to understand what their situation looks like, understand them as a human being,
Yes.
meet them where they are because they're not all ready to take any steps.
No.
There's
And
that.
sometimes I have to have that conversation is eh, like, I know, like, you can feel like they're not ready
Yes. Yes.
or the person's not ready and in a totally non-judgmental way. Like,
Right.
if you've had experiences with addiction or any type of trauma, you can see with life experience and I guess age when a person is at that point where
Right,
they're
right.
like ready to make a change.
And
You
that's
can feel it.
I think that also can be frustrating when we're in this field, we're trying to help people.
And sometimes I miss it too. Sometimes I think that they are ready or they aren't ready, and I'm wrong.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I know that that can be challenging. I've done case management myself when all of it started, and then I was like, "No, not for me." It's just not. And, thank God that we have people that like to do it
I mean,
because
maybe we should dive deeper into my psyche of why I like to
okay, well,
I
go ahead
don't
then.
like it, no, like, I don't like sometimes I do say to, like, Carrie, who works with us too, like, "What is wrong with me? Like, I like this because everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that you oh my
I
god," and
think
I'm
it's
like,
that demand, and because we personally invest in the clients and everybody, well, I'm not gonna say everybody, the majority of the people that are still part of the nonprofit, like I call it, like, the lifers that have been around forever, do have a personal investment in trying to help people, and case management is one of those things where I don't know if it's just so much, And it is. I would say it's one of the hardest jobs in the field
Hmm.
because only because you're not just checking off boxes. If you did case management that way and we were just like, "Okay, here you go." Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
But because it's almost like there's so much invested in that and we care so much about it, you get closer to those clients that way.
You do, and I guess to go back on what we were saying is, like, I think it's been a good tool for me to learn how to release,
Mhm.
right? Because I
Boundaries.
can't I can't be sitting at the dinner table with my 4 children thinking about
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy I just met with at the jail and all of his life circumstances and many pieces of it. Like, I can't. I have to be
Yes.
present. Do you know
Yes.
what I mean? And so it
Yes.
has been a good tool because I am an overthinker. I am a worrier. I am some people might call it controlling. Some
Some
people
people.
might say that I like to have control over things. I say that it comes from a place of love.
Well,
It's with loving intention, but
yes.
in saying that, I think that it has helped me learn how to release things that I can't control.
Absolutely, you have to.
Yeah.
In that lane, you absolutely have to, and setting boundaries is so hard for people. So, I think that particular position requires you to have very distinct boundaries and be able to enforce them and be able to
Yes.
compartmentalize and be able to separate yourself, and that's just very hard to do. It also, I'm just gonna say it outright, it is demanding because you are almost, like, expected to be a miracle worker at times. I've been asked to do some crazy stuff that is just not that's just not humanly
Well, and I mean, there's
possible.
so many pieces of it, right? So, like, a lot of times you're relying on somebody else
Yes.
to get their job done, you know? And so you're telling me what you need. So the person that I meet with is
Yeah.
saying, I need this, I need that. Okay, well, in order for me to help you with that, I have to call this person or I have to talk to this person. And then I have to hope that that person feels the same type of urgency or planning that's going to
Yeah, it
meet
doesn't
the
always
release
happen.
date of a person.
Yes.
And that doesn't always happen. But then I'm the face they see.
Yes. Kinda where I was going with that, that there's so
Yes.
many layers and responsibilities that not everybody is cut out to do that.
And here's where mindfulness comes into it, right? Is when I go back for a follow up and I'm like, they're like, well, Miss Jen, like you said that da 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 da. And I'm like, well, I just didn't feel like doing any of that for you. So I didn't.
Well, there's
I
actually
just decided you don't matter and I'm not going to do it. But I thought I'd come back and visit you anyway.
yeah,
So, but
she's being
I'm
sarcastic.
being very sarcastic. Can So, the mindfulness part comes back into it
Right.
when I
Right.
say to them, "So this is what I did." And so then I talk to this person
Yeah,
or I
yeah.
talk to that person, and then I have to wait for that person to do this, 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 and that. A lot of people do not think about that. The ripple
Yes.
effect,
Yes.
like,
I agree.
personally, collectively, of, like, I'm doing what I need to do, but we also need to be aware that we're in a community of people that
Yes.
also have to do things, and I can't
It's so hard.
control. So we
Yes.
have to be mindful that
And I think it's just people in general, they have that sense of urgency, because they need something or they
yes,
need to live. I mean, we're talking about people that could potentially be on the street, so I understand that urgency.
absolutely.
So they're not immediately emotionally going to pick up on, "You can't get that for me right away." And it's their urgency, and it's like stuff they need to
It's the
work
most
through.
important thing to them right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
which absolutely makes sense, and I can empathize with that. I grew up in an environment where I always felt like I had to stay one step ahead. I always had to gauge emotions
Oh,
to
yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I can get that part of it too. But through life experience, I've also learned that not everybody is operating from that same space of
I Yeah, and
urgency.
I think that's why you're good at it too, because you can see all those things and you can relate
Hopefully.
to both sides, but also able to like have those boundaries and turn that off
Yeah.
when you need to.
Like, I'm thinking at all times, if a person is released and they don't have anywhere to go, I can actually envision them in my mind walking up Western Maryland Parkway,
Oh, God.
with
Yes.
nowhere to go. Sometimes I see them and I have to like, you cannot pick them up, Jennifer. You cannot put them in the
Oh, yeah,
car and
you
pick that.
cannot.
You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean? Like,
do. I
so
do.
I understand like that part of it and I think about that part of it, but I also understand that there is communities of people that need to support that person in getting help.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And I can't I can only control that part of it so much,
Do you
you
find
know?
challenges in this field being a woman, or do you think it is beneficial?
I mean, I think that that's a loaded question, Julie.
Okay,
Because no, I mean, I think that
or maybe
I
differences.
think it's subjective. I think it's circumstantial. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good because sometimes it depends on the person. Like some people do
True,
not
true.
respect women.
That is absolutely true, and I know, like, we've
Some
all
people
actually run
don't.
into that
And
working in this
some
field.
people, listen, I'm going to be frank.
That's
We can
fine.
cut this out if you need to.
Be frank.
Some people are like, who's this white woman sitting here talking to me that thinks that she understands my experience? And that is completely legit.
That is a really good point, and it's one of the reasons why we try so hard to utilize people with lived experience because it makes a difference.
It's completely
Because that
legit.
person sitting across from you is automatically gonna think she or whoever does not understand me, and it's just automatic, and that's really hard. That can be challenging for us, just working in this field, just even teaching a mindfulness class. I mean, you're already gonna have that,
Oh, yeah.
because they don't know, like, right away, like, if
If
you
I'm
have lived
working with a
experience.
group of if I'm working with a group of middle school kids teaching meditation, they're looking at me as a mom.
Right, right, like, you have no
I
idea.
like
Yeah,
what is she like she's a mom. So they're operating from however their mother is or just moms in general, you know what I mean?
exactly.
If I go into the jail, I'm sitting down and they're seeing me as a middle-aged woman, which I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
what do they know? I mean,
yeah. It's kind of ingrained. Like, it's kind of, ingrained
yeah,
in us as humans to immediately feel that way.
and that's okay. I
Yes,
mean,
of
that
course it
how
is.
would we break that? I mean, that
But
would
I
be
think that's just a
so
challenge, period. I mean, that's gonna be a
yeah,
challenge in every field that you go in. I think it's an asset to be a female in this
well, yeah, I mean, you
field.
can work it either way.
Yeah, like, I think it's an asset because of the nurturing nature that we have. So we automatically want to help.
As long as it's not taken advantage of.
That's the problem. So I feel like that's one of the most, and we've had some funny stuff happen. We've had some serious funny stuff happen where, I will not go into massive detail. We've
I
had
mean, you can
we've had
be
letters be
frank,
sent
yeah.
to my staff, which was hilarious because they sent it to me talking about me, as far as like, I did don't let your boss see this. And I'm like, dude, you sent it to me. But
lots of thought.
we've had stuff sent to us, and I understand, and we laugh because it was
We laugh, but it's
wild.
like not funny at the
It's not funny at
time.
all. Like, it's
No.
like,
And then you go into your own,
what?
like, so here's the thing with me. That was ultimately a learning experience for me, right? Because I'm the type of person that when something like that happens, I get into self-review.
Yeah, like, the
I'm like,
hell did
what
I
did I
say?
do? What did I say? Well, maybe it was this one word I used. I'm never going to do that again. And then it's affecting me every time I meet with somebody
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, well, it must have been this that I said, or maybe it was, the way that I sat or the way that I
Which it's not.
the way I made eye contact. Yes, but
But I
as
know exactly what,
women,
yes, as women, we're like automatically like, what did I do to invite that? Which we may not have done
yes.
anything.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I just showed up and I was myself.
Yeah.
But obviously, myself put off
I'm
this.
only
And
laughing
like,
because if you would have read this, like, it was so superbly well written.
I mean, it was
It
a
was it
beautiful
was be
romantic.
and we laugh because we've all gotten over, like, kind of the shock of it, but it does
It
happen. It
wasn't funny at the
was
time,
not
but it is
funny. I
funny
was like,
now. Like I bring it up all the time as a joke, and everybody's
yeah.
like, "That's not funny," and I'm like,
Well, but you do get kind of desensitized in this work to certain things, okay? So, like,
"You have to laugh about
if
it."
there's I remember being on the phone and there was, like, a riot in the prisons, and I could hear, like, stuff going on. I don't wanna, like, stabbings, and I'm just like, "So that happened, it's, like, a Tuesday," like, and because I've been
Yeah,
enmeshed in it for so long that I'm just like, "Okay."
and
It's
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 not
just
that
a
you don't
yeah,
care, or
it's just
it's
because it is happened
it
so
is.
frequently.
Yeah.
I've gotten things in the mail, like teeth, or like,
Oh,
like, and I don't think anyone's trying to do
bones.
any I don't think anybody is trying to do anything like harsh. It's just they're trying to show me something
At
and they
the
feel
end of
like
the
that's
day,
the
that
way.
person is communicating and saying, or they're reaching out, whether
Yes, and
their
it's
end result
sometimes it's not appropriate,
and their
but
end result is maybe totally off base of where you see the relationship going with that person.
I think that happens in life. Like, dude,
Like,
like,
I'm just meeting with you the way that I meet with all the other clients that
yeah,
I
and
see.
and we because we also
Why this turned into
understand
some sort of
mental
long-term
health, yeah,
commitment for you, I'm
yes,
not sure why.
and we work with mental health, so we have an empathy for it and an understanding for it. So for us, it's kinda like I can understand the kinda like the mental space that they're in. So let's just
Yes.
all like
And
it's
I
gonna be
do, and
okay.
I think about that later, and I'm like, "Oh," like.
Yeah. We still have, like, yeah, like, there's boundaries,
And that's
right?
something, like, I
But we do
learned
have that
that,
empathy.
yes, I learned that very early on, that I
Yes.
had certain traumatic, and I felt different because of it, okay? So I had traumatic events happen to me when I was in my younger years, in my teen years, where I found myself the person that I guess was treating me badly in the given situation. I found myself having empathy towards them, and I didn't know what to do with that. And I found myself internally saying, "Oh my gosh, like they made a bad choice in this one moment, and now they're going to have to deal with that for
Yes.
however long." And I had to learn very early on what to do with that, because communicate that to somebody and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Communicate that and say, well, this person hurt me. And I feel,
That's a whole other podcast on forgiveness and how
yeah,
but it's true. If you can
but that
get to that
plays
place,
into all of this stuff.
it
And
does.
especially for me, like, circling back to how it plays into my own life, the work that we're doing and the mindfulness part of it
Mhm.
is I've had to utilize that a lot and be able to deal with it. And now I'm as an adult able to communicate it. Like, yes,
Yes.
this person might be here in this position for something that they did that is wrong,
And there's
but
consequences and
and they're dealing with the
yep,
consequences in it
yep.
of it. But like they still guilt, shame, all of that.
Which
They
could
still have to
potentially have
carry
led
that.
to what they did.
Or
So yeah,
not. I
or
mean, it might
yeah,
just be a person who just doesn't care and just.
and it's all mental health based. So like all of those reasons underneath of all these things that have happened, i- it doesn't mean just because we have empathy and we work with them and we try to help them, which is actually trying to prevent it from happening again. Just to be clear, like that's why we
Correct.
do that. Um, because they need that healing. They still have consequences. Having empathy does not mean that we do this work so that they don't have consequences. Like that's not what
Correct.
that means. I know, yeah, try telling somebody like we have empathy. I've gotten that before, like, oh my gosh, how could you possibly work with this population? And I'm like, actually, I'm helping save everyone else from the ramifications
Well,
of those crimes
I
or
have
whatever.
I have a more sense of urgency when I'm dealing with a male or a female who is going to go home to small children.
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
bigger sense of urgency for that. Is that for the person themselves? Yes, because I want that person to grow so they can
Yes.
show up for these children, and
Yes.
then these
Yes.
children aren't traumatized and going through life handing out trauma or traumatizing
Exactly.
themselves or
I think that's something people don't understand about the work you do. Like, they have this perception of what this is, but it goes so much further than literally just we're helping this one person. You're helping the community, you're helping the economy, you're helping their next employer, you're helping their family, their friends. I mean, you're
wow,
actually
Julie,
like
you're like really gassing me up.
but it's true. Like if you think about it, if you save one person from doing something again, that ripple effect is
I
humongous.
hope so. I hope
It really
so.
is. You get them housing and the therapy that they need, they're going to keep a job, which means they're going to contribute to the economy and they're
I
going to
don't
help their
care about the
kids.
economy.
I'm just saying, okay?
I like to spend money, period.
Well, one of the things that we laugh a lot
Yes, we do.
and in this line of work, you really, really have to. Like you have to.
Yes.
So, what do you laugh at? Like in your life. So this morning I spend a lot of time um well, it's not a lot of time. It's like in the morning I will watch funny things and people are probably like, "Oh my god, it's the stupidest video." And I will laugh like if somebody else is laughing. If I'm watching a video and somebody else is like laughing, I will laugh. I have no idea what they're like even laughing at, right? And I think it's funny. Um I think farts are funny.
One
I
of
mean,
the
like
things
I mean it's
one of the things that really makes me laugh, and I don't know why this popped in my head. I apologize to anyone who takes offense to this in advance. I don't know why you would. Let's talk about it later if you do. You know those pointer finger things?
yes.
Whenever like, even right now, just thinking of it. There's videos all over the
Oh, yes,
interwebs
of, like,
of
the
people with
wife
these
going or the
pointer
mom saying,
fingers
like, "Tap, tap,
and point
tap, tap."
I don't know what it is.
It's hilarious.
And so we have pointer fingers. We have these pointer fingers all over the house and the
Oh,
living room and the
it's so you
kitchen.
don't have to actually
So
see it, you
we
just go,
get the pointer
"Tap, tap."
finger and just oh my God, I could get real ugly right now cracking up and thinking
Yeah.
about it.
I
But
watch
just taking that pointer finger out, and the kids will be like, "Mom, can you get me that right there with the and I just,
yeah.
like, can't
I think
stop.
it
And
was
then we're
meant
pulling up
yeah,
YouTube
yeah. I know,
videos
it's so
and
funny. I like to this is terrible. One of my favorite things to watch is people falling, like, slipping on ice. Like, dude, I know it's not funny. I know it's not funny when it happens to you, where people trying to get in their car and they're
I'm
laughing and they're
gonna
sliding they got a big crack pot,
I'm
and they're like
imagine, if you
leaving, like
will, they were falling and holding a pointer finger.
see, this like, I will literally be in tears. Corey will come
And
out in the
all you
garage
see is
yeah, and I'm
all you
like
see is that pointer finger and them on the
as they
ground.
fall, they're like, "I still got my finger."
I would
I don't
die.
know why it's so funny, but honestly, I think it's when you work in a field where there's so much stress and then, you have so many other things as a woman to be dealing with, being a mom, having
Mhm.
craziness go on because it does. You have a relationship, you have all of this stuff. I find it perfectly acceptable to sit in your car, drink your coffee, and laugh your
About
ass
people
off
falling and
about
pointer fingers.
yeah, whatever it
Mhm.
is. Funny cat ones where the cat breaks into the room in the middle of the night playing like a banjo. I'm sorry, but I only do that for like I only do like that mindless scrolling for a couple of minutes to get my day
Yes.
going with really good music on because if I've got to start my day and deal with all of this stuff,
Yes.
I'm like I need to laugh. I need to laugh till I am crying and then I'll be okay.
I'm gonna tell you a funny falling story with me as the victim. Is You're familiar with Harper's Ferry, I'm
Yes.
sure. And
Yes.
there's lots of hills in Harper's
Lots of
Ferry.
climbing.
And sometimes you have to park
Like
to
super
walk
far
around the
away.
little town there. You have to sometimes park on this hill, on hills.
Yes.
And so a of mine and I were there, and we were doing some little shopping, and we were going to go to lunch. It's a really nice day. And we were parked on one of those hills. And full disclosure, we were standing outside of the car smoking a cigarette. And she finished her cigarette before me, and she got into the car, and I'm not sure what happened,
See, we're laughing.
but I opened up the passenger side door to get in, and I just fell. I fell right under the car, like under the
Under the
car, but I
car?
was holding the
Was it icy?
No, it was a beautiful spring day,
Good
or maybe it
God.
was a fall day. I just know it was a beautiful. There was no excuse for it.
See, that's why I like
There was no excuse for it. I just
yeah.
fell. But from her perspective, it had to be hilarious because
So,
she
like, you were
saw
there, and
me
then she's
there,
and then you
and
were
then I was
gone.
gone.
Dude, I'd have been rolling.
And just
But, like, I'm
imagine if
so
I was holding
sorry,
a
you're like
pointer finger and that was all she saw.
well, Jen, it
I
has been
wasn't hurt. No one was
awesome,
hurt.
awesome having you, here today to discuss
Thank
your career
you.
and what you laugh at. Um, and I hope you will come back and
Well,
have another podcast episode with me. So, hey, you guys, thank you all for joining us here at All Things Pink. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out tremendously. You can also find us on Apple and Spotify if you want to listen to the podcast. And we can't wait to see you next time on All Things Pink.
You gotta get out there and explore. Baby, let your love